A default judgment is entered when a defendant does not respond to a lawsuit. This is the result for many, if not most, defendants in Schedule A cases for different reasons. Service of process usually takes place before or at the time the plaintiff files a motion for entry of a preliminary injunction after a TRO is entered. After a defendant is served with process, usually in the form of an email with the complaint and summons as attachments, the defendant will have 21 days to appear and respond to the complaint, such as with an answer or motion to dismiss. If a defendant does not timely respond, it is in a default condition. Eventually, the plaintiff will file a motion for the court's clerk to memorialize default under Rule 55A, and most of the time simultaneously enter default judgment under Rule 55B. In the default scenario, the plaintiff's allegations are deemed admitted, and the court can impose judgment on liability on the allegations alone. The plaintiff will prepare a draft judgment for the court to review and enter. The terms of the judgment will include conclusions as to the plaintiff's rights and the defendant's actions and liability. The default judgment will include remedies which the plaintiff asks for, such as permanent injunctive relief and monetary damages. Monetary damages in a default judgment can take different forms, but usually the plaintiff will ask for statutory damages if they are available under the circumstances. Sometimes, the scope of a defendant's infringing conduct goes beyond statutory damage ranges, and a plaintiff will seek actual damages. While attorney's fees and costs are remedies that a plaintiff can argue for under some claims, they are typically omitted from default judgment orders as they usually require another round of motions or prove-up. Default judgments can also order the transfer of any restrained assets from the defendant's e-commerce platform accounts to the plaintiff. It goes without saying that it is important to avoid default judgment being entered. A motion for entry of default judgment can, of course, be opposed coupled with a request for an extension to respond. In the event that default judgment is entered, it can be vacated under certain circumstances. A defendant not properly subject to the court's personal jurisdiction can vacate a default judgment on that basis. Other meritorious defenses may also vacate a default judgment if they can show that their lack of response to the lawsuit was not willful. The defendant took quick action to address the lawsuit when made aware of it, and that reopening the case would not materially prejudice the plaintiff. Many defendants in Schedule A cases wind up with default judgments, some because they neglected to address the case, and others because the value of the storefront is less than the cost of hiring counsel to defend the case. There is always an economic perspective to litigation, and sometimes walking away from the account is the best option. Because many Schedule A cases end in a default judgment, learning this procedure is important to understanding Schedule A litigation broadly and strategizing proper responses.